Chip Zdarsky and Rafael de la Torre pit Daredevil against her past as Electra moves to discover who has taken Fisk's file on her and how it is tied to her violent past as a member of the Hand. Chip Zdarsky builds out his Daredevil story here in what is considered a Devil's Reign tie-in, but really it's just a continuation of what Chip was doing in the Daredevil book before the event begun. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to spend more time with Electra as the sole focus of this small series, exploring her role in Devil's Reign and expanding on the Hand plot that has been baking for some time now in Zdarsky's ongoings. On top of Chip getting introspective with Electra and having her question her own motives and what she has planned, the book also sets up a classic hero versus villain battle with Kraven, which, thanks to the ties to Fisk and his files, sounds like it's going to be quite fun, and I'm intrigued to see what we learn of Electra and other characters like Fisk throughout this series. Rafael de la Torre takes us into Electra's journey with some lovely gritty artwork that shows off the character's emotions from Zdarsky's script very well, coupling it with some intense fast-paced action. I also really like that they place Daredevil's blood red costume in these really great stark, bleak snow settings like these forests and everything. It's a fantastic visual and makes the characters pop off the page. Daredevil, Woman Without Fear issue 1 continued Chip Zdarsky's wonderful development of Matt and Electra, their relationship and the storylines that have been building for some time now, while we also get some great insight into Electra's current frame of mind. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Daredevil, Woman Without Fear issue 1 sees Electra confront Wilson Fisk, telling herself that he's a monster and she slays monsters, especially ones that are now rampaging through a city and outlawing superheroes, all because they are cowards and won't do what needs to be done. She knows that it would be so easy to kill him, but she promised to shackle herself and now she doesn't know what to do. But Wilson does, as he talks about his files and how he has them on his friends and enemies. She learns that he gave her file away to someone who wanted one extra thing from Fisk as well, wanting him to deliver a message. Fisk tells her that the person who is interested in Electra wants to meet her where she tried to recruit the original Daredevil to the Hand. Thanks to this, Electra knows that Wilson knows everything about Matt Murdock. Later on, Electra returns to Matt, who wants to meet with the other heroes soon. Electra tells herself that she needs Matt for her plan to take down the Hand and for him to trust him, and she hates that. Matt asks where her change of clothes are, as Electra reveals that she went to see Fisk and she doesn't know what she was thinking. She does know that the world is on fire and she is used to dancing in that fire, having a bad feeling about how all of this is going to go down. Matt knows that they are going to do this together and Fisk won't win. Electra kisses him, but Matt tells her that they can't stay there since his brother, who is currently pretending to be him, lives there and he'll be back soon. Electra tells him that the world is on fire, asking if he feels it as they spend the night in the apartment. Electra wonders to herself why Sex and Danger always have these holds over her, along with the men with their black and white outlooks. She knows that they forever haunt her as she remembers her training with Stick, knowing that he was the first as the man hits her, calling her a pathetic, distracted, rich brat, wanting to call her father to come and get her. She attacks out of anger, causing Stick to hit her down easily. He tells her that she is too angry and angry people get people killed, not just themselves. She knows that she went back to Stick when she was older and after she had met Matt at Columbia University, and that's where she fell in love with him and betrayed him. In the present, she returns to the university, knowing that she has no plan for the person with the file and she is putting herself out in the open and hopes to draw them out. Electra soon meets with Robert Goldie Goldman, an old friend and now assistant DA who has come back to Columbia to give a lecture. He knows that the nostalgia is hitting him quite hard there and reminding him of his time with Matt and Foggy. He asks if she wants to get a cup of coffee and catch up, and Electra, despite knowing that she shouldn't, decides she would love to. The two friends catch up, with Electra playing coy on who she has caught up with from school, telling Goldie that she sees Matt from time to time. Goldie reveals that he was just on the Daredevil case across from Matt, inspired by the lawyer he has become and the faith he has, remembering the long talks he would have with Matt about God, despite him arguing on the side of atheism. He knows that he was just jealous of the man being able to believe in something so strongly. Electra knows all about that and how it's not made his life easier for him or those around him. Goldie asks about what Electra's been up to in her life, and she knows it's been hard, feeling like she's in a cage, and while she's pushed herself out of it, she feels like she's traded one cage for another. Goldie is sorry that's happening to her, knowing that Electra he knew was driven and was a force of nature, and if she's in a cage, he feels very sorry about what's about to happen to the cage. Electra soon spots someone outside, someone who can't possibly be alive, so she quickly excuses herself from Goldie, heading into the alley to change into her Daredevil costume, ready to show who is playing mind games with her that things have changed. In the past, Electra's training is interrupted by Akka, who asks why she does this. Electra tells her to defend against people, but Akka wants to know why she actually lets out a noise when she strikes. Electra says that it's a release and it gives her more power on her follow-throughs. Akka knows that it gives away one's location, and the deadliest strikes in the world are silent. Akka pricks her finger on the broken board in front of her, getting a splinter as she is surprised Stick didn't teach the woman any of this. Electra demands to know who she is, so Akka says that she is what the woman needs, dodging Electra's attacks and placing the splinter in her finger into Electra's neck, paralyzing her instantly. Akka removes the splinter, saying that it was a simple pressure point and Stick failed her, but she won't, and she will help her realize her unending potential. Akka introduces herself, telling Electra that she represents the hand. In the present, Electra takes off through the snow-covered rooftops, thinking about how Akka got into her head and how she pretended to care, unlike Stick, and in the process, ruined her life. She remembers that she told Akka everything, and if she is trying to pull her in, she needs to revisit moments and places that her and Matt shared. She soon spots a sports car, stealing it as she remembers doing the exact same thing with Matt, remembering how they drove it off a cliff. She heads to the same location where she finds Akka waiting for her. Electra tells her to cut out the games, but Akka merely falls from the cliff. Electra races to help her out, but it's too late, knowing that she is letting Akka get to her head and she is better than this. She knows that Akka survived the fall, thinking that whatever she is doing, she is winning, but not anymore, knowing that she is no longer hers. In the past, Electra battles some hand ninjas, easily taking them all down as Akka hands her a sai, telling her to kill them. Electra knows they are no threat now, but Akka says they are not alive or dead, and the ninjas have sacrificed their life to the hand, and their failure now will be failure later, endangering them all. She wants Electra to free the man, so she does, killing the ninja. Akka knows that she is now ready, showing her a picture of her first target, which is Matt Murdock. Electra remembers how she was to soften Matt up and bring him into the hand, and she was never meant to be with him or grow close to him, but Matt was intoxicating and fascinating. She knows that Matt needs her, so she finishes her trip down memory lane, knowing this is all just a distraction. As she speeds back into town, she almost hits a deer, causing her to lose control of the car and crash. Crawling from the wreckage, she knows she corrected her skid, finding one of her tires on the car have been blown out by a dart. Thinking it to be Akka again, Electra dons her mask, wanting to finally finish this with the woman. She tracks the assassin through the forest, hearing a rustling nearby, but as she races to confront the assassin, she is almost caught in a hidden net trap. She tells Akka this isn't really her style as another dart is shot at her, which she barely repels with her size. She demands to know who is the person doing this, so the being reveals themselves to be Craven the Hunter, who says that he is just a man looking for a challenge in a world devoid of them.